Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome into the Gramlich and MacLean podcast, presented by Ingles, the official supermarket of Gramlich and MacLean. It is a football Friday. We have 5 games yet again because we still have some teams on byes, but I kind of like these 5-game weeks, Mac, because we can really focus on some of these games in our big game breakdown. So I'm not complaining.
That's right. Conference play is a must, KG. Once you kind of get through all of that, and we have the 14-game schedule, then you start, hunkering down a little bit here, getting the nitty-gritty, which, great games. I mean, really great games across the board. I think there's intrigue everywhere, especially from, a gambling perspective, a sports betting, We don't gamble. We sports bet. We do not gamble. From that standpoint, it is very impressive. And quite frankly, the ACC is setting themselves up to have an unbelievable finish in October, but a really impactful, fun, hopefully not heartbreak, fun November.
They remember November. We know that, Mac.
Always do.
And, speaking of fun, we had a few people, by a few people, I mean one person, he said, oh my gosh, I can't stand Kelly talking about Candy and Taylor Swift on the podcast. So we won't talk about that. Yes. I sassily responded.
Wait, hold on. Since they brought that up, which we had no plans to talk about this, I did not know the movie that you went to.
Yes.
Was the concert.
Yes.
I thought it was like no. I thought the movie was like about her life or something cool. I didn't know that you went to the movies to go to the concert. That is bizarre to me.
Are you serious?
I've never heard of this before, ever.
Mac, it's the highest grossing.
How long were you there?
Oh, it was like a 2-hour and 50-minute.
But isn't the show longer than that?
Yeah, they had to cut some songs and people were not happy.
Okay, they're not actually dedicated. That's crazy.
They had to. I guess they
I
had
thought
to
you were there like
4
4 hours listening to every song.
Well, if you count.
Did you sing? Did you sing in the theater?
I
need a full breakdown. Give me a whole breakdown. Here.
I sing?
Start from you illegally getting candy and coming into the theater, and now go play.
You don't need to bring that up, Mac. But Mike and Ike's forever. So I went with a few other girls.
Right.
We went on Sunday night. We all have children, so it was like we had to go a little later. But
Rager on Sunday night.
Yeah, exactly. But all of the husbands handled bedtime, thankfully. And yeah, I sang the entire time. Oh yeah. So I knew the set list because you can go on Spotify and there's a playlist of the songs. But I wanted to be surprised, even though she goes by era, so she goes by album. But I wanted to be surprised and not know every song that was coming. So I listened to that on shuffle, obviously, because I'm smart. And yeah, I mean, I belted it out. It was incredible. I mean, she's a genius.
Everyone singing?
She's a genius.
Did you hear her ever?
Yeah.
I cannot imagine. Here's what I am comparing this to, because I know you love Marvel so much, so you know what I'm talking about. Superhero movies. There are times where stuff happens that is so epic and so exciting that it erupts. You're like at a sporting event. Everybody, people are cheering. I cannot imagine people singing, talking, yelling the entire movie. So literally, did you ever hear Taylor, or did you just hear your girls beside you singing?
People actually cheer at superhero movies?
Little small bits. You went to a concert in a movie. That's weirder.
I can't believe that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, Taylor's a real person, unlike superheroes. So
Debatable. Have you ever met her? You don't know that.
She's real. We went to the Sunday night show. So the beauty of that is, Mac, is that all like the 12-year-olds, it was a school night. So
smart.
It wasn't super loud. It wasn't even that packed, really. She's not showing it on weekdays, just on weekends. But so it was kind of good because everyone was singing, but nobody was like going crazy.
Okay.
Nobody was like standing up and doing all that stuff. It was just a bunch of 30-year-olds who needed a break from their children, who wanted to go see Taylor.
Living their best life. Well, I will also say, you're a pro. You did not lose your voice. There are some friends of ours in the neighborhood that Kaki had dinner with the other night. She did lose her voice singing at the movie.
Understand that.
This is how I learned of it. This was a revelation to me. This was crazy. So thank you for walking me through it. Wow. Did you get popcorn? This is so weird.
I wanted the popcorn bucket.
Right.
But they only had this, so I had to get a drink.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wanted
Shout
the
out
popcorn
T Swift, taking over every facet of the universe.
And Mac, just wait. When she's on tour in 15 years, you will have to take Amelia, and you'll be one of the dads in the stands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, not the weird dads that sit outside waiting.
No,
like, I'm
go
gonna
to
be
the
in there.
show.
I'm gonna be.
Go to the show. She's the Beethoven of our time. Okay, before we get to Ingles and these games, because we've spent way too much time on this, and that one guy is not going to be happy. We do
Hope
have
he's
to say, because Mac was bringing up sports betting, Mac is killing it. Mac is 33-20 against the spread. Mac is killing Vegas. Vegas wants nothing to do with Mac. Vegas is afraid of Mac.
They're terrified.
I'm 29-24, so not terrible, not great. But Mac is killing it. So let's get to a message from Ingles, and then we will listen to my picks, which don't really matter. We're going to listen to Mac's picks after this.
College basketball is kicking off with the Asheville Championship at the Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville, on November 10th and 12th, featuring my Clemson Tigers, Maryland, Davidson, and UAB. Tickets are on sale now at AshevilleChampionship.com. Save your spot, cheer on your team at the Asheville Championship, November 10th and 12th. Again, that's AshevilleChampionship.com. Get your tickets today.
Mac, the people are here for your picks. So let's do it. The big game breakdown, we're going to talk about 2 games here. And of course, we're going to start with Duke and Florida State. Number 16, Duke at number 4, Florida State. This spread is, by the way, 7:30 p.m. ABC. If you didn't listen to our interview with Mike Norvell talking about this game on Wednesday, first of all, what are you doing? Second of all, go listen to it. This spread is changing. We saw it at 14. It went to 13.5. And now it's back at 14.5 after we've heard Mike Elko say that Riley Leonard is going to try to play. So that's interesting to me that the number has gone the other way. Mac, what do you make of that? And the number, as our Vegas expert here, what do you make of that?
Right. Hey, look, I just know how to pick them. I don't know what they mean. I have no idea. I would like to know, actually. And I guess I can kind of, people were probably kind of, hitting Duke early.
Yeah.
And then Vegas is like, whoa, this is way too many people. Let's drop it down. And then people probably hammered Florida State. And then like, whoa, we got to check it back up. I don't know. That was a pretty big swing to do what they did. And now to be higher, to end it higher, like you said, with the news, but maybe someone leaked it. Maybe someone leaked it that Riley is not playing. I don't know. It's fascinating. I know. That's what I'm saying.
He's going to try to play. I mean, there's no way.
Do you think
Riley
so?
Leonard,
based on how he's
Mac.
walking, you think so?
I think he's going to. You could, like, Riley could have had his arm amputated yesterday, and he's going to try to play. I know that was drastic, but Riley Leonard is going to try to play.
Yeah.
Now, the only way he's not going to be out there is if the coaching staff, the training staff says, like, physically stops him. Like, I really think so. I mean, Mac, you know that. Like, there's a lot of times where, especially when you're a student athlete, you're 18 to 22 years old, you're like, I'm playing.
Yeah.
And the only person that can truly make you not play is the coaching staff. They have to tell you, no, you can't.
Right.
Like, you're not going to be effective enough. It's not good for you, etc.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Do you bring him? If he's not playing and he's not playing, do you bring him?
100%.
If you're Duke.
And you dress him. Yeah.
Oh, you dress him too?
Yeah.
You're playing mind games? You just want everybody thinking, okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
You dress him and you say, Riley, try not to limp in warm-ups. Yeah, you bring him.
No limping.
I mean, you also want him on the sideline too to help
100%.
Beeler.
I do. I absolutely do.
If he can't play. I mean, I think we talked about this on Wednesday, but the big questions with this game, how is Duke going to handle their second ever road game of the season, and their only other road game was UConn, if they don't have Riley Leonard? That's the big question. But I think what I'm really interested in, and what I think nationally should be the storyline here, even though people, haven't really watched Duke, they don't understand. I want to see this Duke defense.
Yeah.
How for real are you? We saw it against Notre Dame. We saw it against Clemson. That should be enough, but this is the most explosive offense they will have faced this year. So what can this Duke defense do? That is what I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. When you talk about the explosive nature, I mean, you're looking at a Clemson offense that was stalled out, a Notre Dame offense that just wants to run the ball. Their best receivers are true freshmen, and then an NC State offense. I think I said defense the whole time. Offense that has no same thing.
Honestly,
true freshman.
We shouldn't even bring up the NC State offense.
How crazy! All three of those teams, you could argue their best skill player or receiver, not skill player, best receiver is a true freshman. I mean, that's bonkers. Not the case on Saturday night. Absolutely not the case. I mean, you've got experience. You've got guys I'm seeing and reading and hearing Johnny Wilson is back. So that's a new added terror to this problem. They're going to be tested like they haven't all year. Can they keep up? It's going to be fascinating to see. Now, I think that there's kind of the benefit of the doubt type of deal, but you could easily go either way with this. You could sit here and tell me all day long they haven't seen anything like what they're about to see. And they're not even close to ready for this offensive attack. Oh, great, you're keeping all those people out of the end zone. Those people can't score. That's awesome that you're doing that. These guys can. So what is that going to look like? But I just think that the way it's kind of one of those things, even on air, right, KG? It's impressive. Alignment, tenacity, physicality, speed, they've all got it. So now it's kind of like, okay, we get to see this big test against these guys. So I think they're going to be up for it. I think it's going to be an absolute war. Talking with EJ Manuel earlier, he really likes the way and when Duke blitzes, that they're bringing nickels, corners, safeties, like fast guys that they hit home, right? They might not be the biggest, strongest, but when they get back there, they're doing some damage. So how much can that try to, speed up Jordan Travis and the things that he can do? Run game, I think, is going to be fascinating. Is Florida State able to run and be balanced and really have a lot of different problems that they can present Duke, or is Duke going to try to take away something to make them one-dimensional? So that aspect from a Duke defensive perspective, I can't wait to see their plan of attack and, like you said, to find out, are these guys really for real?
I hate to say, they're for real. And I'm the one that said that, so I'm walking about.
Yeah.
They're for real. But this is also one of the best offenses in the country, in their place, prime time. Can you step up in that moment? And Mac, we heard Mike Norvell on our podcast say he was so impressed with Duke's defense, specifically how they tackle. He was really impressed with that.
Exactly.
Mike Elko has done both these Mikes have done an incredible job rebuilding both of these programs. When you look offensively, Mac, I worry a little bit, even with Riley Leonard, can Duke be explosive enough? Because that's what Florida State does. Yeah. Florida State is home of the explosive play. Keon Coleman, Johnny Wilson, whoever it is, they're going to do it. Can Duke be explosive enough? In the passing game really has been the issue to match Florida State.
Right. And it's weird that this has come up so much this year, but it's very true. Can Duke keep the tempo of the game controlled because of their offense? Can their offense aid and help that defense to where almost keep away like a triple option where you make Florida State uncomfortable? Listen, they're used to a lot of possessions going up and down the field like a fast break offense. They want to be moving. But if you're drowning that thing out, taking 7-8 minute drives, scoring touchdowns on the end of them, running the football, then it's like, oh my gosh, like we have to score. It's a weird pressure that is put on you because you kind of know in the back of your head, we're not going to get the ball but 8 times this game. Like, how can we make the most of this? How can we take advantage of it? So I'm going to be fascinated to see can Duke do that? Because, listen, we saw the game plan last week, right? They threw it 12 times, completed 4. Now, half of those were bomb touchdowns, and it was great to see that, the explosive nature. I don't think Duke can win if that's the case. If that's the stat line at the end of the night, I don't think that they're winning the football game.
Yeah.
But kind of in the back of my head, maybe they can because Florida State's
and FSU's rush defense is not great.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
They're giving up 140 plus yards per game there. So can Duke actually do this? They've got Graham Barton back. This is his second game back. That offensive line was sweet last week against a very versatile, complex defense. These guys are faster, more athletic, I think, but it's a little more basic in the sense of where everything is. I am so back and forth on this game, and it's going to be fascinating to see it. But those are kind of the two individual perspectives that I have there.
Basically, you're saying, can Duke bully another team?
Right, which that's what they've done all year. What they've done all year. Yeah,
it's crazy to say that.
Yeah, it is crazy to say that. So
can they bully Florida State and make this more of a rock fight? And then can Florida State make this more of an explosive play contest? Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think Duke can keep up with that.
Right.
I really don't. So Jordan Travis, obviously his health, but I think he's fine. The second half he looked fine. Johnny Wilson back. Trey Benson's been playing at a super high level. Clean up some drops here and there, but again, just give the ball to Keon. Let him eat. Let him be freaky. I think that they'll be okay.
Florida State also has had, and this is very nitpicky, but they've had maybe a quarter a game where they just kind of let their foot off the gas.
Right.
The second quarter against Virginia Tech, not really against Syracuse, but they've had that a little bit. So, and Norvell even mentioned that too. Like we've got to put people away. So
Right.
can Florida State do that as well? That may be the difference between covering and not covering, Mac.
That's
Both
right.
teams, this is my stat here, both teams are 4-2 against the spread this season. So both teams have been good. Very good. Not
Love
North Carolina fans, but good. You mentioned it on Wednesday, Florida State's never lost to Duke. That's a big one. And here's the other thing. These two teams have not played since 2020. So a lot of the main pieces in this game have not played each other.
Sure.
So that
No
adds
question.
to it as well.
Yeah, and I think even with the transfer portal, obviously Florida State has used that a lot more than Duke. Now Duke has some very nice pieces and done what they needed to, but yeah, it's fresh. I mean, I think you kind of throw history out a little bit, but it's always there for a reason. So it's fascinating to see, KG. We'll see. The line right now, 14.5.
Yep.
Talk to me, partner. What are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, again, my picks don't matter because you are killing Vegas. But I just have to think that Vegas is underestimating Duke here.
Yeah.
It does worry me, the whole Riley Leonard factor.
Right.
But I don't think you're keeping Riley off the field. It's just a matter of how healthy he is. I'm going to take Duke to cover.
Yeah.
But because of Riley Leonard's health, I'm a little worried. But I'm going to take Duke to cover. Just because I'm tired of betting against Duke and losing. I do that every week.
This might be. I'm just kidding. I'm with you. I'm with you with Duke. I think that, again, they're a really good football team. I think this line is a little disrespectful. 2+ touchdowns is a little crazy to me. I think that, again, can you weather the storm? I don't know if we can stress that enough, because that environment is going to be crazy. These guys are going to get off to a fast start. The tempo is going to be nuts. How are you able to handle that? We'll see. We'll figure it out and find out. But I think Duke keeps it close. Maybe wins. We'll see. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Riley Leonard has to be healthy if they're going to win.
Right.
Agreed?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Oh, man. These are the games. These are the games that we love. Okay. Let's get to our second game in the big game breakdown. Then we'll run through the other three games. This game, this is the both teams need it so badly bowl. Okay.
Right.
Clemson and Miami. Clemson is at Miami, 8:00 ACC Network. Mac and the boys will be down there. Is Stephen A coming back, Mac?
I don't know. We are in Miami. We'll see. Probably not. Probably not.
You never know. Clemson's a 3-point favorite. And as I said, I mean, both teams need to win more than anything. Clemson coming off a bye. Miami coming off a loss to North Carolina, a 2-game losing skid. We all know what happened in the Georgia Tech game. And I looked this up today, Mac. This is my crazy stat, because we all think, okay, Clemson's issue this year has been turnovers. They've been terrible with turnovers, right? Miami actually has a worse turnover margin than Clemson and has committed more turnovers than Clemson. I was blown away when I saw that. Miami is -3 in the margin. Clemson's actually +1 because they force turnovers. It's just Clemson seems to have turnovers at the absolute worst time.
Right.
Miami has 12 total turnovers on the season. Clemson has 10. I was baffled by that. I know Miami, the last 2 games, turnovers have been a real issue. And TVD and his picks are an issue.
Right.
But maybe this just comes down to turnover margin when you look at those stats.
It might come down to a little something else, KG. Can I give you the last 4 combined games real quick? Can I just tell you those?
Between these two teams?
Yes. Do you know these scores?
I mean, the combined score has got to be like 160-40.
It's not good. Well, I'll take it even a step further, actually, not just giving the combined score. You could total the offensive points for Miami in every 4 of these games together, and you still would lose to Clemson in every single
that makes
matchup.
sense.
It's
been
bizarre.
blowouts. It is bad.
Bizarre. And it started, I don't want to rub this in anybody's face, but 58-0, 2015. Then the next year, 38-3. I think that was the ACC championship. 42-17, 40-10. I mean, Clemson has had these guys number, and it hadn't even been close. So in a year of uncertainty, in a year of what do I want to say here? How do I want to say this? Lack of consistency from the Tigers. Can Miami make something happen? Can Miami, figure it out and be upset and angry? And because at the end of the day, you kind of mentioned it, this is an elimination game. Right now, both these teams statistically, if you do all the numbers, are still alive. There's still a path to Charlotte. If you lose, it's over. There is no path. It's virtual uncertainty there and done. So you're fighting for your life there. How are you able to make it happen? What are you able to do? I think that at the end of the day, we see Clemson respond. I think that coming off their bye week, again, you can't really use it because it is so different. These teams are so different now. But I really think that when we came off a bye week, we were fresh, we were focused, we were ready to go. And that was the thing that we just took pride in. And I have to think that Clemson, with 2 weeks to prepare for Miami, is going to figure it out and going to get that done.
I think a lot of people would like to think that from a Clemson perspective. But so you're leaning Clemson here. Before I give my pick,
whoa, oh my gosh,
I would like to say a few things here.
Okay,
and the first thing is, what is going on with TVD? This seems to be a question. It was a question in camp with the finger issue.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we've seen. The Miami Herald reported, Mac, that TVD was seen on campus on Monday with his right leg wrapped in an ace bandage the way up to above his knee. Okay.
Not good.
I would love to know, like, the student that saw that and tipped off, how did that happen, right?
Right.
Mario Cristobal said, I keep telling you I don't comment on injuries. I just told one of our guys that he's ready to go. Next question, please. Shannon Dawson said TVD was fine.
Sure.
So I think he's going to play.
Yeah.
But is he 100% healthy?
Right.
That's a question.
He got hit. A bunch. Hurries, rushes. Our guy, the Butcher, had like 9 pressures, which that part of that means you're getting hit there. And I think when you just look at it and you see, okay, Clemson's going to send it. Clemson's going to blitz. You're going to have an answer there, because I don't think that the guy can handle getting sacked, 3, 4, 5 times in this game. Hand looked like it was hurt on a throw.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And again, you're telling me his legs wrapped up. My gosh. It's not good. When your quarterback's getting hit that much and taking these hits. Again, very well-rested team. Nate Wiggins is back. Antonio Williams is back for Clemson. These guys got the pieces that they wanted at a time that they need it most. And so I don't know, KG. I feel like, Will Shipley is going to really have that game where everybody else helps him and he can be free and just be a running back, not have to call protections, not have to be this over-eager leader, outside of his natural abilities there. I don't know. I think that Clemson figures it out and puts it together.
Let me ask this, because I honestly am on the fence about this game. And
really,
are we just supposed to ignore the Wake Forest game?
Let me ask. Did you ask me this? Did we don't look past buys? Did you talk to me about that? Did you ask me that question? Was Clemson
talking about looking towards a buy? I think I made maybe, yeah.
I heard someone else say that too, and I don't know if that's a thing. I really don't.
Well, then how do you explain the Wake Forest game?
Exactly.
So you're telling me I should be more concerned about it.
I'm not. But maybe you should be.
That offense looked terrible. And it felt like
horrible.
The team didn't have nearly as much juice as they did maybe in the Syracuse game, or obviously Florida State. Clemson is only giving up 86 rushing yards a game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where, especially if TVD is not 100% healthy, Miami's going to have to find a way to run it.
Mm-hmm.
And TVD, though, besides the picks, he's played really well. He leads the ACC in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and passing touchdowns. So he's been really good. It's just these picks have come at terrible times.
Untimely, yeah.
And here's the other, I'm just going to add this in. Klubnik ranks second to last in the ACC in yards per attempt, 6.5. Only Brennan Armstrong is worse. The last time a Clemson quarterback on a season was passing for more than 7 yards per attempt was Trevor Lawrence. So it's been since 2020. 7 yards per attempt is all.
Checks out.
All we're looking at.
Pretty crazy. Throw the ball downfield, please.
I know we got to move on to the next game. I just have no faith in Clemson right now. And what Dabo was saying too about sometimes you got to lose games. Like, where's the mindset of this team?
Well,
Miami is better offensively.
He also said, I guess nobody can take a joke anymore. He said that the next day. So it was a joke. 'Twas a joke.
Was it though? I'm going to take Miami.
Oh!
Just whatever.
No way.
I just have no faith. Mac, that Wake Forest game, I said it. I think the Wake Forest performance was more embarrassing than the Duke game.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Because Wake Forest is
very bad.
Wake Forest is a bad team.
Not a good team.
Okay, Miami +3. We're doing it.
Going Tigers. Go ahead. Do whatever you want.
And again, Mac has a better record, so take with that what you will. Okay, let's run through these games in the speed round. Virginia is at number 10, North Carolina. UNC is a 23.5-point favorite, 6:30 p.m. on the CW. The question here is the spread, right? Like, I don't think there's any other question here. Letdown game, massive number. What are we looking at? I think UNC covers. I think UNC.
Do you? Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points, KG. Are you sure?
I think Virginia is just that much of a disaster. I mean, UNC covered this number easily against Syracuse. Like, I think they're going to do it. Plus, UNC has been so good against the spread this season, people. Come on.
So good. Let them know. Oh, man. Did you just persuade me in some way?
Oh, were you going to take the Who's?
Yes, I was.
Mac, don't let me persuade you. You're the one killing Vegas.
This is such a classic, like, stumble game. Not lose, but just like we're so good. We just killed Miami. Who do they play next week? Let me pull this up real quick.
I get that. But like, has UNC proven that they're beyond that? They're mature enough to handle it.
All right, is that what you're asking me? I don't know if they have.
I'm banking on it.
They're at Georgia Tech next week, who has owned them the last 2 years. Are they looking forward to Georgia Tech?
Mac, this is also the South's oldest rivalry.
Yes, it is. Sure is.
Rivalry game.
I'm going with the Who's. I think it's a lot of points.
Ooh.
Make me look
Don't
silly.
come at me,
cool
UNC fans.
Yeah. Go, bring it. Just to cover. I mean, I think UNC wins.
Yeah.
What's the line? Is it 23.5?
23.5.
I think it was 24.5 earlier. I think they win by 3 touchdowns. How about that? Which is Virginia covers.
Okay.
I think Drake balls out. I think everything's great. 21
I'm surprised
points.
by that, Mac.
I draw the line at 21.
Okay. All right. I understand. Okay. What about Pitt at Wake Forest, 3:30 p.m. on ACC Network? Wake's a 1-point favorite. Why on earth is Wake favored in this game?
Vegas knows.
Mac, what do they know? Because to me, this is obvious. You take Pitt +1.
Here's what you do, KG. You go to the bank. Let me get my cash right. And you just throw your money at the local teller.
How much cash do you have?
A lot. All of this. This is from my winnings. You take all that money and you just give it to whoever you can to get these points here.
Why do you have all that cash?
Pittsburgh is going to roll these boys. They're going to have 1,000 sacks. Like, it's not going to be good. It is going to be, and I think weather's involved in this game. The Narduz loves that. He relishes in it. The team relishes in it. They are bringing the blue vase.
I was going to ask
with them.
Is the vase coming?
I have all these props everywhere. What else do you want? What see?
What's on your blue cup?
They're going to turn Panthers. Shout out to the Carolina Panthers. They're going to bring their rocks and they're going to have a rock fight. What else do you want? I got so much stuff over here.
Mac, you don't have this though. So.
I don't. That is a limited edition. I don't know. I mean, truly, I've heard that quarterbacks out. Maybe a couple of quarterbacks are out for Wake.
Yeah,
that doesn't make me feel good.
What
there's
does
some
Vegas
confidence.
know?
I don't know.
This is driving me crazy.
I think it's a typo. That's what I think it is. I think it's a typo that thousands and thousands of people are getting in and cashing out right now. And Vegas is like, we're good for charity once or twice. But I'm rolling with it.
This is a charitable line.
The ESPN matchup predictor is 56-43, whatever percentage there. Pittsburgh. I don't get this line at all. I think this is the easiest pick of the day. Pitt wins probably by double digits.
Also, Pitt, one of the things they did against Louisville is force turnovers, and we know that secondary can force turnovers. Wake has 14 turnovers on the season.
Right.
They blow Miami and Clemson out of the water with their turnovers. Vegas, you know nothing.
This is a miss.
And we're both going to be wrong somehow because Vegas is always right. But Pitt +1. Pitt +1.
Easy money. Easy
Mac
money.
has a bunch of cash that
Just
he's going to
throwing
go put on
It's ready.
Oh my gosh. I don't carry any
of course.
cash.
Legally, of course.
Yeah. And sometimes it's a problem, but yeah, apparently you do. Okay, Boston College at Georgia Tech. Last game of this episode. Georgia Tech's a 4.5-point favorite noon on ACC Network. I hate this spread.
Skeptical?
This spread stresses me out.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech and Boston College are both coming off bye weeks. Okay.
Yep.
I've said that both are making bowl games, which there's no way. But I've said it. Halfley also said that this has been their first extended practice time with Castellanos as QB1. So I thought that was interesting. And we know how dynamic Castellanos is, but Georgia Tech's also coming off that crazy one over Miami. What kind of crowd will Georgia Tech get? Noon, sleepy start. You want to be the road team in that situation? Mac, I think I'm going Boston College +4.5, and I hate this game.
You keep taking my picks that I think are going to be easy for me to
This is good for me. If I'm picking like you, that means I'm going to be right.
Hopefully. You did miss one vital, important piece of information here. Chris Cotter, Georgia Tech alum, Mark Herzlich, Boston College alum, calling this game.
That's great.
In the booth, no shirts, royal beatdown matchup. Who comes out actually who wins the game. They're not playing a football game. It's a one-on-one
That makes me feel good
fight.
about my BC pick because my money's on hers.
I'm with you. I think this was the most stressful pick of the day for me.
Yeah, it was.
And just difficult because in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, why is it 4.5? Like, what are they thinking? Why is it this way? I think there's a little bit too much stock in the Miami game. I think people forget that Miami played
if you watch
so
that
bad.
game.
So bad. But guess who else played so bad? Georgia Tech played so bad. But they found a way to win.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. I think that BC with Castellanos, I think that they're a different team. I think that he's one of the most exciting players. I also think Haynes King is one of the most exciting players. Regardless, this is going to be fun TV. This is going to be a fun game. Must watch. You have to tune in here. But I'm going with BC as well. I think they actually win the football game here. But it probably will be close and come down to the end.
I'll say this, Mac. Whichever team wins this game is making a bowl. There we go.
I like that. This is the
there
go bowling.
We go.
I like that. That's fair. I think that's a great pick.
Even though I think Georgia Tech has a tougher finish, but because Georgia Tech always plays one of the toughest schedules in the world.
No question.
Mac,
every year.
The pick we disagree on is Miami Clemson, and I don't have a lot of faith in the Tigers at this time. But you're going to be there, so
I'll be there.
I did not take into account that you were going to be in attendance at a Clemson game.
Well, bad news.
That brings
on the road. I ain't never seen Clemson win in like 100 games. So
okay,
not good.
Well, there you go.
But we'll see. Fun weekend, impactful weekend. We're gonna have that the rest of the way, guys, which is very exciting. Very cool. We've got some great things coming down the line. A little bit of a mix-up next week. You guys don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's this little basketball tournament happening. I don't know if you've heard of the Asheville Championship. We've got an amazing Clemson basketball preview coming. One of one. This is the only place you can find something like this. It was really cool and a lot of fun. Big shout out to those guys. So be on the lookout for that. But that's it from us for this episode, for this week. Another great one, KG. We need you to go over to YouTube, subscribe to our content. It's a lot of fun. I'm throwing money at the camera over here. KG's showing world-class exclusive cups that nobody else has. We have fun over here. You got to join the party. Leave some comments, and we will not tolerate the Taylor slander. So get out of here with all of that. But we appreciate you.
Say what you want. Just know I'm going to come back at you, okay?
Just know that the Swifties fight. They have a lot of fighting ability there. But we also need you, OGs, to go over there, rate, review, subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We would greatly appreciate that. But until next time, we'll see y'all.